Hello, all that are watching. I am starting a series that I am going to call Fix 66 Thai Style, where I have visited Thailand already about 4 times, and I'm about to go on my 5th trip here in the pandemic. And just going to go through what it's taken me to get there. And I've seen a couple of people that posted videos that went there to stay, apparently to relocate, but I'm just going for the 45-day tourism. So, first thing you're going to see here shortly is me losing the winter beard, getting cleaned up a little bit, and then I'm going to go through and gather everything that I have up to date to travel coming here on April 14th. And I hope it's helpful for anybody who watches. It'll be very informative, I hope. And then it also will be a couple more videos after this of me going through the quarantine, the travel there, going through the quarantine, and then maybe kind of doing a little bit in Thailand. But thank you, and see you when the beard's gone. All right, all cleaned up, beard's gone, got a haircut, ready to go. Let's get to it, and I'll tell you everything I've gone so far to travel to Thailand in a quarantine. I am going there, and I'm going to get the visa on arrival, which they still offer. They've extended it for 15 days, so you can use that time for the quarantine. You're going to be in your quarantine for pretty much, works out to be like 15 days, 16 nights. They don't count the first day. I would suggest first thing go to the DC website, DC Thai website. That is thaimdc.org, THAIEMBDC.org. At the top, there'll be a blue band. It'll say COVID-19 situation in and travel to Thailand. Read more. Click on read more. That's going to take you to your next page, which for the most part it's set up to split up all the different states, what jurisdiction each embassy has of the 4 in the United States. I reside in Ohio. Mine was New York. When you apply for your COE, you're going to want to do it with the correct embassy that's in your jurisdiction. Now, on that same page, if you keep looking, you're going to find another link that says Visas and Certificate of Entry COE. When you go ahead and click on that, that's going to be a very detailed page on all the visas they offer, what you're going to need to apply for your COE, a link to get to your COE, but make sure you are going to the correct embassy of your jurisdiction. I'd say go through that a few times, understand it the best you can, and then it'll teach you a lot on what you're going to do before you apply for your COE. Now, in my experience, all right, now I'm going to go into what I had to do to apply for my COE, the 4 things you will need for sure. You're going to want to have your round trip ticket booked, and they want that to show that you're not going to be in Thailand for more than 45 days. I'll go into all these in more detail a little later on. You're going to want to have proof of insurance, and there's a couple things about that you're going to want to know. You're going to want to have your ASQ hotel booked. I got some information on where to look, but as far as the one that I've booked, I'm going to go into that in detail in another video once I get checked in, check the place out, and see what I think in person. You're definitely going to want a PDF or a picture of your passport, legible, clear. Make sure they can make it out. That's going to be for pretty much anything that you're going to apply for, ASQ, the COE, etc., etc. Okay, one thing is that's very important. Actually, a couple things for the COE. Do not apply for the COE more than once. You can go ahead and start filling out your information, save it, go back to it, but you're going to have to remember how to go ahead and log on into that page, and then they're going to give you, send you a confirmation to your email that you put in with a 6-digit code. Keep track of that 6-digit code, because that's going to get you back into that page if you need to finish or make any changes. Also, for any time you're dealing with emailing ASQ hotels or the Thai embassies, you may want to go ahead and check your spam folders. It may come up in that, and you won't realize it. Okay, now for the airline, start with that. I fly an airline called Qatar, flew them quite a few times. Very good airline. I go ahead and I splurge on myself and I fly business class. It's a 21-hour flight that you're in the air, 2 different flights. But business class is very comfortable. They treat you very well. I'm hoping that the lounges are open, but it's possible that they may not have it open with COVID. But now that we're not in the height of the COVID situations, they may be relaxing some of that. Now on the website for Qatar, I did find a place where you can go on there and tell where you're departing from, where you're arriving at, and it gave you all their detailed information of what they expect for you to board their planes, fly, and such and such. Okay. So now the insurance. If you have your own insurance, the one thing you're going to have to make sure about that is that the insurance that you are providing for them shows that you are going to be covered for $100,000 USD of COVID. If you get sick with COVID, it has to be covered. So you'll have to make sure your insurance somehow will prove to them that that's going to be the case. Now, if you're going for tourism, my suggestion would be is what I've done for a lot of the trips that I've taken is I've gone with a company named Squaremouth. They are a very good company. They do a search with a bunch of different travel insurance organizations. And the last one I paid quite a bit for. I'm not going to go into any price ranges or anything like that. But depending on what you're going to get, I mean, you can even get sports insurance. If you're going to go water skiing or mountain biking or rock climbing, you get hurt, it'll patch you up, cover, and ship you back home. It also included rental insurance that I got with this one. But now all of them are pretty much carrying that minimum requirement of COVID insurance to qualify you to travel into Thailand as a tourist. And I think when I applied for my COE, after all the information was correct, it came back very quickly approved, and I believe that that insurance was part of that they saw I was covered more than enough. The ASQ, where I found it was there was a list of many hotels, and this is in the Bangkok area, but it'll also cover other ones, I guess, if you want to look in the search. But it's called Thaistyle, and like I said, most of the ones I were seeing on this page were in Bangkok, but you may be able to look in Pattaya or Phuket if that's where you're going. But Thaistyle is a very good place to look for all these hotels. You're going to want to make sure that wherever you are going, though, the hotel is in that area of the airport, because you're going to arrive at the airport, go through all your checklist of paperwork that you have. You're going to go through immigration. They're going to put you in a van for your hotel. You're going straight to your hotel and nowhere else. The one that I've chosen is in that area. It is on an approved list on a Thai website that I did find. Forgive me, but I don't remember where. But you're going to have to look up some stuff yourself. But I had to go and fill out forms through a lot of emails. But I did get them all the information, booked the hotel. There'll be another video that I'm going to go ahead, and if they seem like a good hotel, then I will recommend them. My situation is that a couple of times I've had DUIs, served 10 days in jail in both a city and a county jail, 5 years apart. And if I can do that, then I can do 14, 15 days in a quarantine in a hotel room. But I got a balcony with mine, so I can at least just step outside whenever I feel like it. All the hotels are set up pretty much similar as far as their in general quarantine, but you're going to get 2 COVID tests. You're going to get 3 meals provided for you. You can order other food, I guess, and they're going to let you outside after your first COVID test for either an hour, hour and a half. The little details vary, but for most part, they're all the same in general. If you can go very extravagant, but I did hear a story that somebody cheaped out on their ASQ. They ended up having a hotel that had roaches. The food was horrible. The food was cold. And when he complained about it to the rating sites, hotel rating sites, the hotel sued him. So I believe the hotel I got is pretty decent. The price actually was about $1,400 for the 15 days, which I don't think is that bad. I just hope that I'm going to get my money's worth. Okay, now I'm going to go over what's going to happen when you're getting on your plane. Of course, I haven't left yet, but this is what I've found out with all my research and maybe what you're going to be dealing with as well, unless things start changing here in the near future. You need a COVID test, a PCR test, 72 hours prior to departure. And what I'm doing is I'm having surgery done, and I'm going to get my test on, I'm going to have it drawn on a Sunday, results on a Monday. Hopefully the doctor can sign it for me on the Tuesday and stamp it, and then I'll be boarding the plane on Wednesday. Now, when I talked to my airline that I finally got in touch with, they said that it needed to be a federally approved lab and signed and stamped by a doctor. I'm not sure if that's the hard requirement for every airline, but it makes sense. I'm just going to have the doctor do mine to be sure. I'm going to try to be in the 72-hour window to be sure, but it's kind of very difficult. You may want to try to book your tickets later on in the week. I wouldn't get them booked earlier in the week, because that may be conflicting trying to get the results of your test. Also, there's a fit to fly that you need to have that's called, I'm also going to have the doctor that does my surgery for me. It's a very simple form, filled out all my information, and a small part of it says doctor number and signature. I imagine he can just sign it, date it, saying, and then there's a checkbox, fit to fly as normal passenger, and I don't see that being a problem, but you're going to need that also. You're going to need the proof of your insurance, and there's also a health questionnaire. You're going to need all of this stuff to get on board the plane, and I'm sure it's all up to date now, but at the beginning of all this, and they were letting tourism in, I saw some people on videos that said that they were actually teaching the people at the counters what was required when they got up there. And like I said, hopefully now people are pretty much caught up with that. But there's going to be a video or two to follow. If there's a lot of questions that I get after posting this, then I'll make a video answering questions. The next one that you may see is what I'm going to call, like I said, at point A to point B, where I'm getting to the airport on the plane, and when I'm walking in the door of my hotel room. Keep me busy. The reason I'm doing this, it'll keep me busy editing some videos while I'm waiting for the 15 days to pass and get out. But everybody take care. I hope this is helpful. And this is only like my 5th or 6th tape. Let's hope this is the one that goes on YouTube. Okay, facing the other way, because I wanted to get rid of the angry background. I want to apologize for that. But the sound is really good in here. So go ahead and add in a little information that's very important. Once you do get your COE approved, they expect you to go ahead and download an app. And it'll all say that in the one page of information on the DC website for them to do the tracking, I guess, in case of any situations that might occur. But they do want to know where you're at when you are in Thailand for tourism. So that wraps it up. More videos to come. Bye.